Hi everyone, Canoopsy here. This is the Pixel 4a. It's kind of a contrast to most modern phones being released today. Instead of focusing on high-end specs, crazy displays, ridiculous camera setups, Google took a step back and decided to focus on one specific thing with this phone: the experience. And it really is a minimalist's dream phone, from the design to the software to the overall nature of a device like this, especially at an incredibly reasonable $350 USD price tag or $480 Canadian. Okay, first up, the design. This is as simple as it gets. And while the design really isn't anything too special, the fundamentals of phone design are near perfect here. The phone is an excellent size and I can reach the top corner of the screen no problem, but I do have pretty large hands. And instead of any crazy notches, bezels, sliding cameras, or huge cutouts, it has a very simple and small hole punch camera, as unobtrusive as it gets on the 1080p 5.8-inch display. Which, by the way, is a pretty solid panel. Now sure, it doesn't really get as bright as other flagship phones on the market, but then again, this isn't a flagship phone, but it is still plenty bright enough outdoors. Honestly, it's just a really nice overall display, plus it's OLED, so you get those beautiful colors and deep contrasty blacks. The phone is also just really nice to hold for some reason. It is an all-plastic build, but it has this really nice coating so it doesn't slip out of your hands, and has a really nice overall grip. The one issue though, there's no official water resistance rating. I'm sure you can use this phone in the rain or if you have wet hands, but don't drop it in a pool of water or the toilet, for example. There's also a fast and reliable rear fingerprint scanner which avoids the reliability issues of in-display fingerprint scanners and the complexities and limitations of face scanners. It just works. It also just has incredible buttons, like listen to this. They just sound so good. They feel great to press. Google killed it here. It also has stereo speakers, front and bottom firing, as well as a headphone jack. While I think many people have moved over to Bluetooth by now in 2020 because there are plenty of affordable options in the Bluetooth earbuds market, some people may still want to hang on to their wired headphones or don't want to actually spend any extra money on a pair of earbuds. So the option for a headphone jack is still there. It's a very nice and thoughtful move by Google. Now, one of the biggest reasons why the Pixel lineup is so hyped are because of the cameras. And on this phone we have an 8-megapixel front camera and a 12-megapixel rear camera. But the real magic here comes down to the software processing on Google's phones. It's done fast and behind the scenes, and you get these incredibly contrasty, beautiful shots which just always look epic. I think epic is the best word to describe them. HDR is stellar, sharpness is phenomenal, and this is a phone camera where I can just shoot and not have to actually worry about previewing shots right after to see if they turned out good. It's a phone camera that I have true confidence taking photos with, and that alone is the camera's best feature. It is literally point and shoot. And of course, night sight. You can take photos in complete darkness and come away with actual shots that are still usable, and some look like they were taken during the day. Both Apple and Samsung have tried their hands at night mode, but Google's night sight still is kind of the best. "4K video recording is good. It's pretty good. It's sharp, stabilization is top notch, and the audio recording is also pretty solid this year. I guess at times it can look a bit over sharpened and kinda muted, but mostly video recording is nice." This is a test of the front-facing camera as well as the microphones. Let me know what you think. Now when it comes to actually using this phone on a daily basis, from my testing, it's been pretty good, with the Snapdragon 730G processor and 6GB of RAM. I'd say that all daily phone tasks like multitasking, scrolling, typing, taking photos are all a smooth experience with little to no hiccups or delays in usage. The one area where I noticed a small drop in performance is with gaming. Now, I don't really play too many games on my phone, I'm not really a mobile gamer, but I wanted to test it out regardless. And I did notice a small drop in that fluidity when gaming. There is a bit of a drop in frame rate at times, but honestly, it's still totally playable. When you're comparing gaming on this phone to a more expensive flagship phone head to head, yeah, it's not going to be as smooth, but this is a phone that is a lot more affordable. But besides that one area, this phone feels great, especially those excellent Google gestures that are super smooth and intuitive. They killed it there. The software experience on this phone is also something worth stopping to appreciate. I mean, look at it. It looks wonderful straight out of the box between the menus, apps, icons, and everything else. It just looks really good. And since it is a Google phone, one of the things they really pride themselves on is the fact that it helps you throughout the day when you need help and also when you don't need help, but it helps you either way. Some examples of this: the always on display that actually shows what music is playing in your environment even if your Wi-Fi or data is off. The new Eclipse wallpaper changes to reflect how much battery you have left. There's a live caption feature which captions all media playing on your screen, and the at a glance widget changes to reflect the weather, your appointments, and more, all to keep you on track. And the list goes on and on and on. And while it's not really as customizable or as feature-rich as a Samsung phone with One UI, all the features here are useful, helpful, and it does it all while looking absolutely beautiful too. Also, the software blends perfectly with the minimalistic nature of the hardware. It's like a seamless hardware-software unison, which is excellent. Plus, Google is guaranteeing 3 years of fast software updates, so it's not a phone you're going to buy and want to get rid of after a year or two when you don't get the latest features anymore. It's going to last you. To keep the phone running throughout the day, it's powered by a 3140 mAh battery, and between the mid-range processor and lower resolution display, the phone definitely lasts quite a while. I've used the phone for taking a bunch of videos, photos, browsing social media, replying to emails, watching videos, all of that fun stuff, a regular day of usage. And this thing keeps going. And by around 10 or 10:30 at night, I usually have around 20% battery left to spare. And that's pretty good. It's going to be a guaranteed day of usage, and I use my phone a lot more than anybody really should, and if it lasts for a day of usage for me, it's going to last for a day of usage for you. And while the phone does support 18-watt fast charging with the adapter in the box, there is no wireless charging here. If you haven't invested in any wireless charging stuff, you're good, but if you have, like I have, it's kind of an annoyance. So this phone, the Pixel 4a, isn't special. It doesn't have a beautiful design with highly premium materials, a crazy camera setup, or massive battery or insane performance with ridiculous specifications, but that's fine. Here in the tech world, we get so focused on numbers and specs and often forget about the most important thing, the overall experience. What the Pixel is a great feeling, comfortable phone that takes excellent photos, lasts a full day of usage, is fast enough for your daily tasks, and has clean software that stays out of your way but helps you when you need it, all at a reasonable price. Now sure, in other places besides North America, you can get some really great budget phone options from Xiaomi, OnePlus with the Nord, Realme, Redmi. There are just so many brands out there, but in North America, Canada, US, our budget options are pretty limited. Overall, I like the Pixel 4a a lot. It's also a phone that makes me reconsider if it's worth spending over $1,000 for another device when it offers just a little bit more in the grand scheme of things versus the 4a. Even Google's own upcoming Pixel 5 seems unreasonable. Like, how much more can they offer and how much more can they raise the price that makes that phone worth it over this phone? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, but I want to hear your thoughts on the Pixel 4a in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe, and thank you for watching.